Look, these numbers are harrowing, and when we see these kidnap for ransom scenarios playing out, it's happening more and more, and it's been exacerbated perhaps by the pandemic. But as a former education minister, how do you feel every time you hear these stories coming through, and as someone that was at the epicenter of Bring Back Our Girls and pushing that narrative over that time in Nigeria, this must be so difficult for you to see it increasing over the last few months?
I think that difficult is an understatement, Elena. The reason is that when 7 years ago Chibok girls were abducted, this was my fear. My fear was that if we did not give justice to those school children at that time, it was going to send a wrong signal and was going to basically incentivize that kind of behavior where, savages would clearly go to schools and take children in the hope of negotiating with them. So to see that 7 years after, only the first half of this year, we have had some 2,600 or thereabouts abductions in more than 280 incidents in the country of people, just because abduction has become an industry unto itself, a sign of poor governance. When governance is gone, these things happen.
So this is where it becomes interesting, because you're talking about governance, and when children are kidnapped and there's a ransom attached, what should the government be doing here? Because we know that if you pay, then it could happen again. But at the same time, you have to do everything in your power to ensure that you get those children back. Yes, we have to fix the issue of there should be no kidnappings. But if it does happen, and we know that this is the cycle that we're in right now, what should the reaction be here?
So there are no easy answers, which is why when a menace, a phenomenon that is clearly abhorrent happens in a society, there is absolutely no excuse for the leaders to dilly-dally on how to make sure that they would take preventive actions. Because if you allow things to fester, then it becomes more difficult. So in effect, what you have to still go back to is the necessity for the institutions of the state to function well. The matter of having to negotiate to get children out could have been something that was in the early days of this abduction, and then to immediately fix every loophole that made it possible for a gang of people to be comfortable enough to think that they can bear the systems of security in our country. It really tells a lot of the level of poor performance of the systems of security.
Let's talk about leadership here, because leadership here has been fascinating, because I was in Nigeria, literally when Chibok happened, and President Goodluck Jonathan at the time, it was felt by the international community, the question was he doing enough? Then Muhammadu Buhari promised to eradicate Boko Haram and to eradicate terrorism. And here we're sitting in a situation where the numbers are absolutely harrowing. What do you think needs to be done? Are we talking about soldiers on the ground in Kaduna where they're protecting schools and protecting children? How do we ensure that this doesn't happen so we're not in a kidnap for ransom scenario constantly?
So there was an initiative known as the Safe School Initiative, which was well designed to tackle this menace. But that was not taken seriously, and therefore it fell through. And so today you see, schools that are in the line of the activities of criminal gangs, of headsmen that are criminal, you see Boko Haram terrorists, schools that are within their line of operations, totally unguarded. How can you have that kind of governance? And then the second thing you said about leadership is that, you see, our political process is so broken that we keep on electing leaders who really do not care that much about providing good governance and also lack the competency as well as the capacity to do so. And therefore, we must, as citizens, now take more interest in the way that we're governed. In the past, citizens thought that it was just a few people's business. Today, it is clear to all of us that fixing governance, fixing our politics is the business of every Nigerian.
I don't have much time left. Would you go back into government? Would you go back into the political world? Very quickly.
I am now training the future leaders of the country. Only God knows what the future holds. But I do think that one person cannot save the situation. We need many new leaders that are ethical, that are competent, and that are capable to fix our country from the bottom to the top.
I wish you luck. Thank you for your efforts. Much appreciated for your time and your insight.